Welcome one and all. Step right up and get your tickets for another moment in gaming history.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome officially to the channel. This is a series where I go into various different moments in video game history, and today I want to talk about the origins of something that's often used to great effect in video games, and that's a level designer. This is something you'll often see in first-person games and games like Mario Maker to allow you to make almost anything you can think of, and sometimes more than even the developer would like you to make. But what are some of the most notable ones of these? Where did they start out? Well, if you have a moment, sit back and hang out a while as we go into the origins of the level designer. In the early days of gaming, most things were coded for each game. What I mean by that is there's no such thing as a game engine. Those of you who don't know what a game engine is designed to help make game development, well, easier. It helps with item placement, environmental design, and essentially level design itself. We're so used to games being made this way that we hardly ever actually think of a time when this might not have been a thing. This wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for the advent of the personal computer either. You see, personal computers were getting cheaper and cheaper, and in the early 1980s the average house was now seeing more and more of them showing up. This led to more and more people wanting to learn how to use them, not only for business and gaming, but to learn new skills like programming. This led to a large surge in home program and game designers looking for new and easier ways to get into these fields. And that's where the advent of the game engine came into play. One of the earliest ones was included with Lode Runner. This was released in 1983, and what this was a 2D puzzle platformer where you were tasked with grabbing all the gold coins in a given level and then getting to the exit while being chased by a number of enemies. This worked in much the same way as Space Panic and Burger Time that came out around this time, and by this I mean you can't jump in this game at all. You have to use ladders and things like that in order to navigate the stage, because jumping just really wasn't a thing around this time, or at least not a very popular mechanic yet. Now from this you can already see how this would lean itself to an early game engine. It's a simple 2D platforming game. The level designer in it, by all reports, was a snap to use. You would simply move the cursor around the stage and hit one of any number of keys to place a block, be that a ladder, destructible floor, gold blocks, enemies. I mean, you get the point. This made it easy for people who might be intimidated by a simple blinking cursor to get in on the fun of active game design by just visually designing a stage. It was so easy and intuitive, in fact, that Gaming World, a popular PC magazine at the time, ran a competition in 1984 offering a prize of $50 to the best design level. Entries would be judged off the challenge, complexity, and visual appearance of the stage itself. Designers like this would continue to work with games like Excitebike for the NES, which had one built into it as well. The downside to this is that unless you were using a Famicom with a disc attachment, you would lose any of the stages once you turned the game off. That, however, didn't stop players from having fun with it and, well, torturing their friends with some ridiculous courses. This would eventually start to make its way into first-person games that came out, with the most popular being Doom. This was one of the most popular level editors that's even used to this very day to make stages that entertain players. This editor was so detailed that people made fully working versions of Castlevania and Legend of Zelda inside the game engine. Even Mario would take a page out of this book with not one, but multiple Mario Maker games, giving players endless levels that they can create with these very easy tool sets. It's pretty easy to see how people would gravitate to these. Given how simple and easy they were to use and how much power many of them had, this led to a lot of players becoming, well, level designers, and sometimes getting jobs in the industry or pursuing a career in computers or game design themselves. However, what do you guys think of this one? Did any of you ever mess with Lode Runner and its level editor? Did any of you mess with any of the ones that are in this video? What is your favorite level editor if you mess with any of them at all? Let me know in the comments. And while you're there, if you can do me a favor, please leave this video a like. And if you haven't, consider subscribing. That really does help me out a ton. Until we meet again though, have a great rest of your day, Happy gaming!